So welcome back to We Talk Boxing. So this is just a short video just to bring you guys some boxing news which is related to Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Now both fighters, were potentially going to be in talks in regards to a potential unification and undisputed fight obviously in the new year, early 2023. But with this breaking news in regards to, the Hrgovic mandatory being called for the IBF between himself and Usyk. The Tyson Fury fight now looks pretty much dead in the water in the earlier part of the year due to this obviously mandatory. Now, for most boxing fans, this is the fight. This was the fight that we all wanted to see. We wanted to see pretty much one champion in the division. However, we have to understand the governing bodies. Obviously, currently Alexander Usyk, he holds three of the major world titles, the WBA, IBF and WBO. And these organisations will be calling for their mandatory fighters, to obviously wanting to step up and obviously challenge the champion. Now, usually as well, it's normally the WBA, which at this point in time would be, the next mandatory in line. But obviously, for some strange reason, with Daniel Dubois and Frank Warren, etc., they didn't pursue it. And I'm guessing, the IBF, etc., just went in there and said, look, WBA don't really want to be pursuing their, naturally, given potential mandatory. So we're going to step in and, call our mandatory. Do you know what I mean? And obviously their mandatory currently, number one, Filip Hrgovic. So he's the main man who should be next in line for that title. Now, obviously, for me, it's a good fight. You know what I mean? So obviously, if it does get made, I will be doing a pre and post fight video in regards to that fight as well. It's a good clash of styles. Obviously, Hrgovic, he's got a good record, 15-0. Obviously, Usyk's 20-0. Hrgovic didn't really look that good in his last fight against Zhang, but I'm guessing he would be up for this. And obviously, I've seen a few videos in regards to the Hrgovic and the Zhang, fight previously and saying that he had a few personal issues going on. But yeah, I think this is a good fight. Good fight. So what I feel that this is going to mean now, probably within the next month, yeah, about next month, give or take. Talks will go ahead between obviously Hrgovic and Usyk. Or potentially, if the talks go wrong or go, they just can't, negotiate and come to some sort of deal, then the purse bids will get called. And, for me personally, I did do another video in regards to Usyk potentially wanting to fight Tyson, obviously the earlier part of the year, just due to his Christian beliefs, etc. So, I feel as if, this fight has been called now. So, this fight is pretty much going to go ahead. So there's going to be no undisputed fight in the interim, short term anyway. And this fight between himself and Hrgovic will be called, and I reckon it will be done before April. And it's pretty good because obviously Usyk pretty much gets what he wants. That fight before, either early March or before April. So yeah, it's a good fight, and let's see what happens really. And depending on the outcome, either way, if Usyk wins, then I guess talks could resume for maybe a big summer fight between himself and Tyson Fury. But if Hrgovic wins, then there'll be a rematch. There'll be no summer bout between obviously Usyk or Hrgovic or whatever for the undisputed. So what I feel for Tyson, I feel as if Tyson's obviously going to have this fight on the 3rd of December with himself and Chisora. And earlier part of next year, maybe April, May, I feel as if we probably will see Fury fight again. Opponents, it could be anyone to be fair, because obviously with Fury, he just randomly calls out people. So it could be anyone, but a fight that I'd like him to maybe go and pursue would probably be the Joe Joyce fight, which I think would be brilliant as well. And obviously Joyce would be ready as well, because obviously He's obviously not long fought, but I feel as if he would be ready, because he said if he would have had a little bit more time, he could have made, let's say, the end of probably just before Christmas. You know what I mean? He could have probably have done that fight with himself and Tyson. But yeah, it's a mandatory. It's been called. Obviously, you guys can let me know your thoughts in regards to this. There is going to be some, obviously, Tyson Fury fanatics that are going to be a little bit, you know what I mean, pissed off, cheesed off about the potential no undisputed fight going ahead. But it's a mandatory. What can you do? The governing bodies called for their, you know what I mean, number one challenger to face the champion, and that's it really. But I feel as if it's a good fight, and if it does, you know what I mean, go ahead, you know what I mean, as stated, then yeah, as I said, I'll be doing a pre and post fight video in regards to it. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Um, do you feel as if it's a good fight for Usyk? Do you know what I mean? Do you feel as if Hrgovic could actually beat him? Do you know what I mean? Or do you feel as if Usyk's just far too classier, you know what I mean, for Hrgovic? But anyway, please subscribe, like, and comment for more boxing related content. Bless.